So Barr drops two tactical nukes there. I think how they've escaped mainstream media scrutiny is beyond me. Bill Barr gave a just incredible interview on Fox. And listen, let me preface this. Of course, he's the Attorney General. It was a number of different topics covered and addressed. But when it came to Spygate, hat tip Laura Ingraham, she asked some great questions. You know, she asked some questions about the coronavirus and the evaporation of civil liberties. All that stuff's important. But it is not the only thing in the news, folks. I'm not doing the 24-hour hysteria merchant stuff you're seeing elsewhere. There are other things going on, like the evaporation of civil liberties now and the evaporation of civil liberties during the whole Spygate scandal where they spied on a presidential campaign. I think we're entitled to answers, and Barr is kind of leading us down the path of where his investigation in the Department of Justice, headed by prosecutor John Durham, is going right now. He drops a few hints in this. I want to play this cut, and I just want you to keep in mind, let me preface it by saying this. Until I see people in handcuffs or prosecuted, I'm not jumping the gun on anything. I'm getting a little frustrated with people who don't listen to the show on their social media ecosystem. Oh, Bongino is selling us on everybody's going to get arrested and blah, blah. I'm not saying any of that. I'm following the facts where they go. I'm being patient, but I'm not until I see people in handcuffs, I'm not getting too excited. But check this out. This is an interesting clip. And he says there's two takeaways from it we'll address on the other side. Check this out.
I think the president has every right to be frustrated because I think what happened to him was one of the greatest travesties in American history. Without any basis, they started this investigation of his campaign. And even more concerning, actually, is what happened after the campaign, a whole pattern of events while he was president. To sabotage the presidency.
What?
What?
Folks, that's the Attorney General. That's not Joe the Ragman. We had this guy in our neighborhood. It reminds me of Middle Village. He used to walk in all the stores and sell like in bagel stores and stuff. He'd sell the rags, like the rags you wipe down and you give them back to him dirty and he'd bring you back a new pile. So they called him, his nickname was Joe. He had I'll leave that for another time. This is the Attorney General of the United States. You know where I may have used him before. He was a real guy. I'm not even messing with you. Like, here he is, Joe the Ragman. He didn't mind it at all. So Barr drops two tactical nukes there. I think how they've escaped mainstream media scrutiny is beyond me. Number one, Joe, we were told by the liberal media, which again is getting to be a running joke. I get it. It's just easy to make fun of them now because they are so worthless and their disinformation propaganda campaigns are so obvious. Weren't we told by the liberal media that don't worry, the Inspector General Horowitz said this case was properly predicated, the Spygate case. In other words, they spied on Trump for a reason. Don't you worry. And there were no political motivation. And we know that story's false because I've played you clips of Inspector General Horowitz saying the exact opposite, that he can't rule out political bias. But Horowitz, who I have no faith in at all, believes that the case may have been properly predicated. Well, Horowitz clearly doesn't have all the information because that's not what he just said. Barr just said that this was a travesty, that he believes this case, that the case was opened up for no good reason. You heard it. You can rewind it yourself. You think he doesn't know? Ladies and gentlemen, you think Barr, who is now the Attorney General of the United States for the second time, he's not doing reputation management. He's not running for president. He's not a politician like Eric Holder pretending to be a lawyer and the Attorney General. This is a guy who is at the end of the arc of his life. I don't mean chronologically like he's going to die. I mean, he's done enough that he's not engaged in some kind of political reputation management scheme where he's saying things to kiss up to Trump because he wants to be the vice president later or something.
Right.
You deny that all you want. That's fine. You're living in a liberal bubble. I'm telling you from friends of mine who know Barr well, what Barr is saying is accurate. Whether you believe it or not is up to you. There is no reason Barr would put out there in a nationally televised interview with Laura Ingraham on a show that gets between 3 and 4 million viewers and eyeballs a night, that he believes the FBI opened up a case for no good reason on President Trump and that the investigation resulted in sabotage of his campaign, if he did not believe there was a substantive reason to say that. But he brings up something else in that cut, too. Did you catch it at the end? Come on, I know you caught it. Where he says, and this effort at sabotage, this investigation that went on for no good reason. Wait, I thought we were told it was properly predicated. I guess not. He says it continued into the Trump presidency? Oh, I know you caught that. Really? Really? Because we were told they weren't investigating the Trump presidency. It was just a mistake. They looked into this Carter Page guy. It was all properly predicated. Don't worry. But it happened into the Trump presidency. What do you think he's talking about? Well, again, our regular listeners probably already know what he's talking about, but it's pretty clear. He's talking about the Mueller probe. How the Mueller probe, he's talking about two things. Let me start with the first one, just to be clear. We know in January of 2017, when Donald Trump is about to take office, mid-January of 2017, swear in as the president of the United States, we know the FBI interviews Christopher Steele's primary subsource. We know that subsource that Steele is saying he got his dossier information from comes out and says, wait, what? This is all crap. I never told him that. So the FBI basically knows its entire case is garbage as of January of 2017, and they continue anyway. Not only do they continue it, they back up via Jim Comey, who calls for a special investigation, the creation of a Mueller special counsel investigation, despite the fact that the FBI knows the investigation is all garbage. The Mueller probe, which I believe Barr is talking about that January interview. In other words, they know in January the case is BS and they continue the investigation anyway. And then they support Comey. McCabe is kind of hesitant. He wants to keep it in his house because he wants to hit Trump himself. But they support the continued investigation by the creation of the Mueller probe, knowing it's all false.
You just heard the Dan Bongino Show. You can also get Dan's podcasts on iTunes or SoundCloud. And follow Dan on Twitter 24/7 @DBongino.